let's talk about Transformers War for Cybertron. But real quick, I want to thank all of my 166 subscribers. Thank you so much. Thank you if you ever liked, you ever commented, or subscribed. It truly means a lot. It's taken me like 4 years to build this channel up to this point, which is great. I've hit my 50, my 100, and now my 150th subscriber count, basically in the matter of a few months, and that's incredible. Like, I'm super proud of that, and I'm super grateful for y'all. You guys are truly incredible. And now on with the video. So like I said, we are talking about Transformers War for Cybertron. This is, I think, the greatest story of Transformers like ever told, or at least within video games, but kind of ever. Now, I have not really played, or I haven't read it in the comic books. I'm mainly just familiar with the cartoons and the movies. But yeah, this truly is a great game. It has great sort of connectedness. Grimlock, who we are currently searching for, this is, by the way, my favorite level of the game. I forgot to mention favorite levels last time, but that's simply because I have so many. I love like half of the Decepticon campaign and like 2 levels, kind of, from 2.5 from the Autobot campaign. So it was a little hard to pick a favorite level last time, but this time it's absolutely the Cliff Jumper level. I've played this so many times, and it is about to show. But yeah, this is a really great story. Optimus Prime has to basically figure out how to power the Ark during the last week. The Autobots were on Cybertron, and it's up, and we see his quest for Energon, which is kind of what Cliff Jumper is doing right now, trying to find Energon, and also try to find Grimlock, who for some reason went rogue. And we sort of don't fully understand why he went rogue, but we do get a pretty good picture of this interpretation of Grimlock. And yeah, I love the stories of Grimlock, and I love this game. This truly is, like, I think the best story a Transformers game has ever had. Next, this is really good gameplay. You're not gonna see it too much, but I think High Moon has really perfected the shooting mechanics in this game here. You're able to switch hands with the B button, and it just really works extremely well to be like, oh yeah, I can change hands now. Like, you really do feel like a Transformer, and it does a good job at doing that for you. Darn. But like, they do a really good job at making you feel like a Transformer, being able to, you know, not only go into vehicle mode, but to switch hands like this. And it's really great. It's really just a fun game. This is also a gorgeous game, and it's probably the best looking Star Wars or Transformers game that I've ever seen. Also, doesn't the end of this sound like, give it a second. I've always thought that sounded like the old IGN logo from around this time, gaming wise. Just gotta refill. If you go to a terminal like that, you can refill your ammo. But like, this really is some great you know, cover gameplay. You can switch your hands, like I said. You can instantly become a vehicle, like in the last game, you know, Dark of the Moon and Fall of Cybertron. Like, it's really, or War for Cybertron, it really is, I think, the ultimate sort of gameplay mechanics for a Transformers game. It's truly just incredible. And when we introduce the Grimlock stuff, it also still kind of works. It's not as great. You can tell that they maybe, you know, they've been refining the shooting combat for like years, you know, for 3 games. They weren't able to, I think, truly perfect the you know, Grimlock's combat, but it's still fine. There is some much to be desiredness of like the stealth mechanics as well. It's a little too easy to get spotted. I should know, I've played this level numerous times throughout the 12 years of this game being a thing. And yeah, like I truly love this game, and it's really fun to have, you know, more of a focused gameplay story. And I really think that honestly, this is the game I could honestly like speed run. I played like the first like 3 levels in 90 minutes. Now that was like taking some breaks. I had to like feed my dog and let my dog out, but like other than that, like it truly was like a very quick gameplay experience. And even this, I was able to finish the rest of the game in like an afternoon. Like it's truly impressive, like how fun this game is and how just instinctive it is to play. Because yeah, it is. It's just truly instinctive. And if you have not played this game, I highly recommend you try to find it. It is available on PS4, so that might help you. But yeah, but no, it's just truly great. And like I said, it's way too easy to be seen doing stealth, but this is still just a really fun level. And yeah, the graphics, like I said, are gorgeous. Like the metals are so shiny and just realistic. Like look at the detail. Granted, you can't really tell because I'm like filming this on my TV, but like just look at the detail work on the metals. And this truly, War got some criticisms for being drab, and honestly, yeah, it is quite drab. But this has gorgeous color work in terms of its metals, in terms of its backgrounds. There's some like I guess organic looking like backgrounds and like certain parts of the game. Like the Grimlock level is strangely doesn't seem super metallic like the rest of Cybertron, and of course the Sea of Rust is very much a just giant sandstorm. So this does have more diverse types of levels compared to War, and I think that helps it look better. And this truly is, I think, one of the best looking games of its era, the 360 PS5 or PS3 era. This is truly one of the best looking games. I feel so bad, but the voice acting is also stellar. Peter Cullen is doing a really good job playing Optimus here. Is, you know, doing a truly good job playing Optimus. Megatron, Fred Tasker has some great moments as Megatron. Of course, Nolan North and Troy Baker do a really good job playing Cliff Jumper and Jazz, respectively. Like Troy Baker does a really good job being like different characters in this game. Like he's you know, he did a really good job at playing Jazz and Jetfire. Like those are two very distinct voices compared to like what Troy Baker like usually does, and like that's truly impressive. Like he must be a Transformers fan because he really did bring his A game to these performances here. And yeah, like everyone's just doing a real stand-up job voicing the characters. Greg Berger, you know, I don't know if this was his like official return to playing Grimlock, but like the fact that he was able to be a more like serious Grimlock, you know, compared to how goofy he is in later seasons, you know, it is truly impressive that he was able to be, you know, be able to bring like the depth to Grimlock that he was able to do, you know, like in this game, because it really does work. And this was kind of like the decade for this kind of was like the decade of bringing back voice actors and making them play more serious versions of bigger roles. You know, obviously Frank Welker was in Prime, Transformers Prime, you know, doing a more serious Megatron, which has kind of just been like the de facto voice that I feel like he's been using for like the last few years. But like he also had like Christopher Daniel Barnes come back as New War Spider-Man and Miguel O'Hara being a more serious type of role compared to 90s Spider-Man. Like, this really was just the decade for that. And yeah, like it's super fun and great to have, you know, Greg Berger back as Grimlock. You know, it's fun. And yeah, I love it. Where was it? Any other like standout performances? Obviously, like they just all did great. But like I did call everyone out who I think was doing especially great. You know, Pierre Collins, Rick Tadashore, Nolan North, Troy Baker, and Greg Berger are truly standouts. And Steve Bloom, gotta give him his flowers. He also did great too. The main theme is fun. I will say I do prefer the rock and roll kind of sound that War for Cybertron has. But the main theme for this game is actually really good and is, I don't know, I think fairly impressive considering that, like, yeah, it's a fun, you know, score, and it's dramatic, it's exciting, it makes you really excited to push play because the main theme is over the main menu, you know. Darn. I don't usually get caught here. That was strange. But yeah, but no, it's all good. This is very much like Catacombs, like very Nathan Drake-y, Uncharted. But yeah, it works. And then finally, here, let's talk about Grimlock. So, Grimlock's story is, like I said, he deserts his post early on in the game, forcing Optimus to take down some anti-aircraft guns with Metroplex as his main helper with that. And yeah, it's like, honestly, frankly, like, interesting. We don't really know why never truly learn why he goes to the Sea of Rust, but we do learn that, like, oh, Shockwave, you know, the mad scientist of the Decepticons, found like a portal. Oh darn, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But found like a portal to Earth on the Sea of Rust, and that's why he's there. That's why Cliffjumper and Jazz are, you know, there to find Cliffjumper and figure out what went wrong with him. Why is he deserting? And this whole game, Teedrick, whatever his name was, Teague, the main director of War and Fall of Cybertron, was a really big Grimlock fan, and he basically modeled the whole game after Grimlock. He came into pitch being like, this is what I want to do with the game. Is it okay if I use Grimlock? They didn't, Hasbro famously didn't like what he was doing with Grimlock, so he redesigned the pitch and said, okay, is this better? Because I really want to use Grimlock in this game. And he's the reason, basically, because they were going to try to have Grimlock be dormant. Apparently Hasbro was going to try to have Grimlock be dormant for a little while, but this game is sort of the reason why Grimlock was perhaps in the Bayverse and in the cartoon Robots in Disguise. So yeah, good job, Teague. You know, you did it, Teague, whatever your name is, the director of this game. This whole story is centered around Grimlock, and that's, in my opinion, truly impressive and truly cool. I love Grimlock in this game. Like I said, his gameplay isn't quite refined. You know, it could be better, but it's damn near perfect. And I would have loved to have a spin-off that was perhaps a sequel to this game that was just about the Dinobots. Call it, I don't know, Transformers Rise of the Dinobots or something. Granted, I don't like that there's Rise of Darkspark and Rise of the Beast. Obviously, one of them is probably going to be more famous than the other one. But I do actually hate that there's a game called Rise of the Darkspark and a movie called Rise of the Beast. But the rumored name for the next the Michael Bay Transformers movie was like Rise of Unicron. So what do I know? I'm kind of a complainer. Speaking of complaints, do I have any? I do think, as I've said, I hate difficulty spikes. Now, granted, the War and Fall don't necessarily have a lot of just random difficulty spikes. Not as much as Rise of the Beast or Rise of the Darkspark, but they have. But this next level or this next segment with the bomb is pretty damn annoying. And yeah, you know, overall, this is a fun game, and I have little to no complaints. I don't necessarily love the Starscream level. The Seeker level was one of my favorites from the last game, so it kind of stinks that, like, you know, the the one level where you play as Starscream isn't as fun as the Seeker level was. I feel like they maybe changed the flight controls, which was a bit annoying. But it's overall fine, and of course, Starscream's level leads directly into of course, the you know, the Grimlock stuff. And I guess my final complaint is, it does kind of suck that, like, Grimlock's story ends so anticlimactically. Like, maybe they thought that they were gonna get a sequel, so like they chose to make Grimlock's story so open-ended to maybe do something with him in a sequel. And like, on one hand I respect that, but on the other hand, like, it does kind of stink because a decade later we never got a sequel to this game. And yeah, there is the Transformers Prime tie-in comic where Ultra Magnus from Prime teams up with this game's version of the Dinobots to do something, but I'm never gonna read that. And the Grimlock who was in the Robots in Disguise cartoon, which is supposed to be in continuity with this game, was a completely different guy. And like, nothing against the guy who plays Cyborg in Teen Titans, who plays Grimlock in that cartoon, but like, that's not the same Grimlock. And that kind of stinks. And like I said, the aligned continuity does sort of like start to fall apart after a certain point. So like, that's one of the annoying things about the aligned continuity, is that it starts to fall apart at some point. But yeah, I'm about to end the level, so that's, I guess, it for now. I genuinely beat this level quicker than I did that War for Cybertron level that I reviewed for the War for Cybertron trilogy review back in the day. The Netflix trilogy, by the way. But yeah, this was fun. It was so fun to replay this game. The next two probably aren't going to be as quick, mainly because I haven't played them as much as this game, so I don't think I could possibly just like play this game in like a day, or the next two in a day. But thank you so much for watching this video to the end, if you did. Thank you thank you not only for watching, but thank you for possibly subscribing if you chose to do so, or if you are already a subscriber. Like I said, this is my 166th subscriber special, and the next video was actually supposed to be my 150th subscriber special, but I took so damn long making the next video, and that I ended up getting another 10 and then another 16 subscribers. So thank you so much. I've really had a great growth over the last, like, since March. So like, what's that, 7 months? I've had a great growth over the last 7 months, and I credit that to you guys, of course, and I also credit that to, frankly, the amazing year I had last year. I will always say that I think 2023 was probably, so far, my best year of content creation, and I hope that this year lived up to the hype. Like I've said before, and like I've said many times, remember that God made you special. He loves you very much. I hope you have a very lovely day. I hope you had a very lovely month, and thank you. God bless, and God truly did make you special till all are one.